Making something illegal doesn't stop anyone. There's a long history of humans finding their ways around laws to either for profit or for personal gain. So let's look into the 1920s, for example. We have the Volstead Act. Liquor is now illegal. People actually wind up drinking more. It becomes chic. There's these underground speakeasies. And to supply this demand, organized crime fills the void. They traffic in liquor from out of country. Sound familiar? They machine gun each other over control of these routes, and they basically put their thumb to the owners of these bars, these speakeasies. You buy their liquor, you sell their product. If you don't, you will be dealt with harshly. The exact same thing currently happens in the U.S. and throughout the world. Now, let's fast forward to the 1960s, where the DEA really gets its funding and Nixon passes into law, the Controlled Substance Acts. It doesn't end anything. All it does is create powerful underground criminal networks. So last week, they just killed a big cartel guy down in Mexico using the United States' assistance with intelligence and maybe even some boots on the ground. I'll never know. It's not going to stop anything. It just replaces the head of the snake momentarily. It's like a hydra, right? You kill one and here comes three more. It's not going to stop it. And that brings me to the point that I'm going to make today about the legalization of marijuana. When I was a kid, I didn't smoke weed. I was a martial artist, and life was always kind of hard, and I liked having that edge, so to speak, that sharp edge, and smoking pot dulled it, right? But I had friends that did, and it was common for kids to smoke weed. They still smoke it now. And when they went to get it, they would get this compressed stuff from Mexico. I live in a border state. And it would smell like gasoline, and it was just this awful stuff. Now, people would get killed over this nasty dirt weed that was smuggled in a gas tank to the United States. Not only was the trade itself filthy, but it put you in contact with a criminal element. So you're 15, 16, and you want to get a little bag of pot. You wind up meeting a drug dealer, and he's got access to everything. Hey, maybe here's some heroin, and here, how about a gun, right? I mean, it put you in touch with the underworld. Whereas today it's legalized, it's taxed, it's a better product. It's not funding an illicit drug trade. Also, recently they've been putting fentanyl in all kinds of different drugs. So, for example, you're a kid, you're 15, you wind up scoring some pot on the street because, once again, making things illegal doesn't stop it. It just drives it underground. So, in this hypothetical scenario, you buy your pot on the street, and it's laced with fentanyl. They lace so much stuff with that garbage. They're trying to get everybody hooked. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Once again, I live in a border state, and you'll see, just driving down the street in a major city, the effects of this. Also, it doesn't hijack a child's future. So, for example, when I was teaching in the prison, I used to be a teacher in a maximum security prison for youthful offenders. It's always one of those conversation topics that people want to hear a lot about, right? Like, ooh, what was that like, right? And I had this kid one time, and he came in and he had high test scores and he was smart. And I was like, what is this kid doing up here? This is, he's a smart kid. He's polite. He's nice. He's like a normal kid. Come to find out, it was his first offense. He got arrested for an ounce of weed in southern New Mexico before it was legal. They send him to prison. He's doing 2 years down to minimum, and the gangbangers keep messing with him. They take his food. They bully him. They pick on him every chance they get. Finally, one day he has enough. He takes the main bully of these guys and pulls him into his cell and beats this kid to an inch of his life, right? Now, the system is designed to do this, to keep you in prison. You either become a victim or you pick up more charges. So now he picks up more charges. They charge him with kidnapping, attempted murder, and they sent him up to the maximum security wing where I work. Well, now he's really got to fight for his life. He's up there with hardcore gang members, murderers, and he just keeps racking up more and more charges. This poor kid, for his first offense for an ounce of weed, did more time than a kid who had 2 counts of criminal sexual penetration. You believe this? Part of me thinks because the recidivism rate for sexual offenders is so high that they're going to let them back on the street. They know that they're going to reoffend, and then the whole system can make money again, right? They get the lawyers, the judges, the whole process begins. Where one kid makes a stupid mistake, hey, let's lock him up and put him in an environment where he's going to either fight for his life and do more time, or live in absolute misery and torture from his peers. He got into a fight once, and he lost all of his teeth. And I went and talked to him. I said, Bill, I'm going to call him. Bill, you got to stop getting into trouble, man. You got to get out of here. You're a normal kid. And he smiled at me. Yeah, you're right. And all of his teeth were gone. They even let him out early. This is the kind of kid he was. And he went to them, and I said, I think you made a mistake. I think you let me out early. Because he was honest. And they said, you're right. And they locked him up for even more time. Anyway, this whole kid's life was ruined because of marijuana being illegal. Now, I have a friend, and she's from Taiwan, and she said something interesting. Like we don't play around there. We should just kill them. And maybe there's a point to that. Maybe just execute them. My idea is to legalize everything. Have a little Junkieville, right? You can go, it's the end of the line, and you can go there and get your daily dose of whatever your preferred narcotic is. It would be regulated. It would take the power away from criminal organizations. And you can just go there and die. That's it. It's your final stop. And if you want to get out of there, maybe there's some trade programs to help you to get out of there. But making it illegal, all it does is create a criminal economy. My car battery was stolen one time when I was living in the big city. One time my window, which cost me like $200 to fix, was broken so somebody could steal 50 cents from my ashtray in the car. It was just these petty crimes are all fueled by drug habits. Give it to them. Let them have it. You get it once a day or twice a day. Go and live in narcotic bliss and die happy. Save the rest of society. Making alcohol illegal didn't stop people from drinking. Making drugs illegal does not stop people from doing drugs. Passing these draconian laws did, however, circumvent a lot of our civil liberties. Fourth Amendment. I mean, how many people have been pulled over and a cop just says, oh, I smell pot in your car. That gives me probable cause. Search and seizures out the window. The due process, the forfeiture of assets, right? Anyway, the point of this video is making anything illegal does not end it. Abortion is another example, right? Back alley abortions. Right? I'm not for any of this stuff. But the reality is it's going to occur regardless of whether or not you make it illegal or legal or not, right? Anyway, all right, that's enough of this. My video's long enough. I've noticed nobody watches them if they're more than a minute long. So anyway, stay out of trouble, and hope you're doing great.